The illusion of choice. Let's play a game. Pick a number, 17 or 35. Just one of them. No context, no explanation, just choose. Got it? Are you sure? You can still change your mind. Take a second. Okay, now pause. Let me ask you something. Why did you pick one of them in the first place? Only because a voice in your device asked you to? That's the thing about choices. When you're presented with two options, your brain automatically starts comparing. But what if both options are part of the same trap? What if the real decision isn't between 17 or 35, but between playing the game or walking away from it? In this episode of Cut the Noise, we'll look at choices that feel like freedom, but are actually designed to distract, divide, and steer your focus away from the real question. What's the hidden intention behind this choice? Consumption and marketing, the illusion of need. You walk through the store looking at options, you compare, you consider, you decide. It feels like your choice. But is it really? What if that decision started long before you walked in? Before the product, before the shelf, before the thought, I need this, and finally, before the need itself. That's where marketing begins, not with lies, but with direction, a gentle pull of attention, a seed planted through images, slogans, colors. You're not just shown a product, you're shown a feeling, a lifestyle, a version of yourself that feels better, stronger, more admired, more complete. The ad doesn't just say, here's a watch. It says, here's who you'll become if you wear it. Confident, respected, wanted, standing next to a luxury car, wearing a suit that fits your power, with a woman by your side, and maybe a tiger on a leash. Sure, why not? But it's not just luxury. Even everyday products use the same tactics. You think you're choosing between 5 flavors of chips, but you're really choosing between 5 variations of the same formula. And when the packaging says, now in a bold new look, limited edition flavor, same great taste, new design, well, in fact, nothing really changed, has it? The product stays the same, only your attention shifts. And that's all they need. Because, do you really need to choose? Remember, no color is random, no slogan is neutral. Everything is designed to guide your eye, your thought, and your impulse. This isn't chaos, it's strategy. There's nothing wrong with wanting something, but it's worth knowing where that want comes from. Because if the need shows up only after the product appears, it's not a need, it's a response, a triggered desire. And that's okay. We all have desires. We all chase moments of comfort, beauty, status. But when we can name it for what it is, we take back a little power, not to judge ourselves, but to choose more clearly. So, before choosing between product A and product B, pause for a second. Ask yourself, what is this really offering me? What do I hope to feel when I own this? Sometimes it's not about the product. It's about the moment of control, the sense of identity, or the boost of validation. Sometimes it's about filling a space. Loneliness, boredom, comparison, restlessness. Sometimes it's about trying to feel enough for just a moment. And that's human. That's real. But the answer may not live on a shelf. The danger isn't in the product. The danger is in forgetting that your attention is the product. You might not need something new. You might need something deeper. Rest, connection, expression, silence, truth. Those aren't sold in stores, but they're always available. Politics, staged division. Every few years, you're offered a choice, Party A or Party B, left or right, red or blue. And each side promises the same thing. We'll fix what they broke. This time, it'll be different. But after the banners fade and the speeches end, something strange happens. More scandals, more backpedaling, more exceptions to the rules they claimed to defend. Over time, things are exposed. Misuse of power. Deals hidden under layers of silence. Patterns that repeat, no matter who's in office. And yet, as a society, we adjust. We normalize the hypocrisy. Like accepting that a car needs fuel to run, we begin to accept that politics comes with dysfunction. We just call it the cost of being governed. But this isn't fuel. This is tolerance for toxic behavior. From adults, we pay with our own taxes. It's not about ideas anymore. It's about performance. Who embarrassed who threw the better punchline, who won the latest argument. It's not leadership, it's sport. And it's designed to make you feel involved, so you don't step back far enough to see the rigging behind the ring. You're just choosing who will tell you it's the other side's fault. But let's be clear, this isn't about apathy. It's not about rebellion. It's not even about picking the lesser evil. It's about not getting trapped in a script where your only role is to react. Because when people are divided, frightened, and struggling, they're easier to lead, easier to shape, easier to convince that salvation is coming, if they just trust the next person with the microphone. And that's the loop. The crisis is created, and the solution is sold by the same hands that lit the match. So before you choose A or B, ask yourself, what am I really choosing? And who benefits from my emotional investment in this game? Sometimes waking up doesn't mean shouting louder. It means stepping outside the noise and realizing that the most powerful thing you can do is not play the part they've written for you. Social media, attention is the currency. You scroll, you like, you follow. It all feels personal, tailored, yours. But most of what you see was never really chosen by you. It was chosen for you. By algorithms built to maximize one thing, your attention. They give you options, content, opinions, aesthetics. But only from a menu they've already prepared. You feel in control, but you're being gently steered, not toward truth, not toward clarity, but toward engagement. Even the question, which content do you like more, isn't about learning your taste. It's about figuring out how to keep you watching. Longer, louder, deeper. You're offered identities, lifestyles, tribes. You get to choose who you are, but from a set of pre-approved templates. And once you engage, it becomes a loop. The more you watch, the more of it you'll see. Not because it's best for you, but because it keeps you inside. But here's the twist. The algorithm can also work in your favor. If you choose to interact with content that supports your growth, like Cut the Noise or other tools for awareness, you'll start seeing more of that. That's the beauty and the trap. Because the system doesn't care what you consume, only that you keep consuming. Even insight without pause can become noise. Even self-help without reflection can become distraction. The dose makes the poison. Fire can warm you or burn you to the ground. The algorithm is just a tool, neutral, silent, yet very powerful. What matters is how you use it, and whether you remember to step outside the feed and ask yourself if what you're seeing is actually serving you. Religion, spirituality, and the only truth. Are you a believer? Are you not a believer? not as a question, but as an accusation. How can you believe in that? How can you not believe? You're given two boxes. Pick one and brace for judgment, whichever you choose. Some people find peace in religion, some in psychology, other in spirituality. One speaks of the soul, another the inner child, another programs in the mind like viruses in a system. Different words, maybe the same truth, just named differently. And sometimes, no name at all. Some people don't believe in anything supernatural or energetic. They don't speak of souls or frequencies. They just live with their own values, convictions, and way of being, without needing to frame it in any known system. And they don't need a sense of belonging that comes at the cost of division. But here's where the illusion creeps in. You're told that one path is correct, and the rest are misguided, dangerous, or broken. It stops being about seeking. It starts being about sides. You're not invited to explore. You're told to believe, to belong, to repeat. Because if you question, you disrupt the structure. You threaten the story. But truth doesn't demand silence. It doesn't need conversions. And it doesn't collapse under questions. Not every suggestion is control. But when someone speaks like they know what's best for you, without knowing your story, it's worth asking, is this really about me? Whose need is really being served here? And what happens if I don't follow? Conclusion. Pause before you choose. Sometimes the most powerful manipulation is the one that makes you feel like you're in control. You're told to choose between brands, parties, beliefs, between versions of who you should be. But if both options lead you away from yourself, what are you really choosing? This isn't about rejecting every decision. It's about learning to pause and ask the deeper question, who gave me these options? What do they want me to focus on? And what do they want me to ignore? Because real freedom isn't loud, it's quiet. It shows up in small moments when you recognize the script and choose to write your own, cut through the noise, and maybe, for the first time, choose something real.